Peace is often misunderstood as weakness, passivity, or avoidance, but in reality, choosing peace is one of the strongest and most intentional decisions you can make. When you choose peace, you are not running away from people or situations. You are deciding what deserves access to your energy, your time, and your inner world. Peace acts like a filter because it immediately exposes what aligns with you and what doesn't. The moment you stop arguing with everyone, stop explaining yourself unnecessarily, and stop forcing connections that drain you, the noise begins to fall away. People who thrive on chaos, control, or constant drama naturally fall out of your life because they no longer get a reaction from you. Peace removes the fuel they need, and in that quiet, something powerful happens. You begin to see clearly who respects your boundaries, who listens without needing to dominate, and who values calm over conflict. Choosing peace changes how you show up, and when you change how you show up, you change who can stay. Many people are surrounded by the wrong crowd, not because they are unlucky, but because they tolerate too much. They tolerate disrespect, emotional exhaustion, and misalignment because they fear being alone or misunderstood. Peace requires you to become comfortable with distance. It teaches you that not every relationship needs to be maintained, and not every invitation needs to be accepted. When you choose peace, you stop negotiating your well-being for temporary connection. You realize that loneliness is quieter than constant tension, and clarity is more fulfilling than approval. This shift alone filters out people who only valued you when you were available, reactive, or easy to manipulate. Peace demands maturity, and maturity intimidates those who prefer emotional chaos. As you become more peaceful, your conversations change. You listen more and react less. You stop trying to win arguments and start choosing understanding or disengagement. This doesn't mean you avoid hard conversations. It means you approach them with intention rather than emotion. People who are emotionally intelligent will feel safe around this energy. They will feel seen, respected, and understood. People who are insecure or addicted to conflict will feel uncomfortable because peace does not validate their patterns. This is how peace becomes a magnet for the right people. It doesn't chase, it attracts. It creates an environment where healthy communication, mutual respect, and emotional safety can exist. Over time, you notice that the people who remain in your life are calmer, more grounded, and more supportive, not perfect, but aligned. Choosing peace also sharpens your intuition. When you are constantly stressed or overwhelmed, it's hard to hear your inner voice. Peace quiets the mind enough for clarity to emerge. You start to notice subtle red flags you once ignored and subtle green flags you once overlooked. You become more selective, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. You stop confusing intensity with connection and familiarity with loyalty. Peace teaches you that consistency matters more than chemistry and safety matters more than excitement. This awareness naturally filters who you allow close. People who respect your pace, your silence, and your boundaries feel refreshing instead of boring. And you realize that peace doesn't isolate you, it refines your circle. Another powerful aspect of choosing peace is how it changes your standards. You no longer measure relationships by how long they've lasted or how much history you share, but by how they make you feel now. Do you feel calm after interacting with them or drained? Do you feel supported or constantly on edge? Peace makes these questions unavoidable. And once you start asking them honestly, it becomes impossible to unsee the truth. You begin to let go of connections that require you to shrink, perform, or stay silent about your needs. This letting go creates space. Space for healthier people to enter. Space for deeper connections to form, space for you to become more yourself. Peace also teaches you patience. When you're no longer rushing to fill emotional gaps, you allow relationships to unfold naturally. You don't force closeness, you don't rush trust. You let people reveal who they are over time. This patience filters out those who only want immediate access or validation and attracts those who are willing to build something real. Peace slows you down enough to notice alignment, and alignment is what sustains relationships long term. As your life becomes more peaceful, you'll notice that your environment reflects it. The conversations become more meaningful, the energy feels lighter, the presence feels mutual, and the people who find you in this space are often on a similar path. They've done their own work. They value growth. They respect boundaries. Peace recognizes peace. Chaos recognizes chaos. What you choose internally becomes what you experience externally. Choosing peace is not about being detached from life. It's about being deeply connected to yourself. And when you are connected to yourself, you stop settling for relationships that require you to abandon who you are. Peace doesn't beg, chase, or convince. It stands firm. And the right people, the ones meant to walk with you, recognize that strength immediately. As peace becomes your default state, you also begin to notice how much of your past social life was built on emotional labor. You were the one fixing, explaining, smoothing things over, carrying conversations, carrying moods, carrying other people's unresolved issues. Choosing peace quietly ends that role. You stop volunteering to be the emotional caretaker for everyone around you. You no longer feel responsible for how others react to your boundaries. This alone filters your circle in powerful ways. People who relied on your constant availability may accuse you of changing, becoming distant or cold. But what's really happening is that you're no longer overextending yourself to keep others comfortable. Peace exposes dependency. It shows who valued you for who you are versus who valued you for what you provided. And while that realization can be painful, it is also liberating. You begin to experience relationships where effort is mutual, where silence is not awkward, and where presence doesn't feel like pressure. Peace attracts people who are whole on their own, people who don't need you to complete them, fix them, or constantly reassure them. These relationships feel lighter because they're built on choice, not need. Choosing peace also reshapes how you handle conflict. You stop seeing disagreement as something that must be escalated or avoided. Instead, you approach it with clarity and self-respect. You speak honestly without aggression and listen without losing yourself. If a situation cannot be resolved respectfully, you walk away without guilt. This response confuses people who are used to chaos, but it deeply resonates with those who value maturity. Peaceful people don't need to win every argument. They value resolution, or they value disengagement. Both are forms of strength. Over time, you'll notice that fewer conflicts arise in your life, not because you've become passive, but because your energy no longer invites unnecessary tension. People sense when you're not available for drama. They adjust or they leave. Either way, peace is preserved. Peace also changes your relationship with validation. When you're no longer seeking approval, you stop molding yourself to fit into spaces that don't honor you. You don't overshare to feel seen. You don't overperform to feel valued. You don't stay quiet to avoid discomfort. You express yourself calmly and clearly. And if that's not received, you don't internalize it. This self-trust is magnetic. People who are secure are drawn to it because it feels safe. People who are insecure are repelled by it because it reflects their inner noise. This is another way peace filters your world. You stop attracting people who need constant reassurance and start attracting people who respect emotional independence. Conversations become more grounded. Connections become more intentional. You feel less drained after social interactions because you're no longer betraying yourself to maintain them. As your peace deepens, your boundaries become non-negotiable but gentle. You don't announce them loudly. You live them. You say no without explanation. You leave when something feels off. You protect your mornings, your evenings, your mental space. And instead of shrinking your life, this protection expands it. You have more energy for creativity, for growth, for meaningful relationships. You become more present with fewer people, and that presence strengthens those bonds. Peace teaches you that depth matters more than volume. A small circle aligned with your values is far more powerful than a large circle built on convenience or history. And once you experience that depth, you no longer crave superficial connection. Choosing peace also aligns you with timing. You stop forcing relationships to fit your life and start allowing life to introduce people when you're ready to receive them. This patience creates healthier beginnings. You meet people when you're grounded, not desperate, curious, not needy, open, not wounded. These connections feel different because they're not trying to fill a void. They're adding to an already stable foundation. Peace allows attraction to happen naturally, without manipulation or performance. You show up as you are, and that authenticity filters out anyone who can't meet you there. What remains are people who resonate with your calm, respect your boundaries, and contribute to your growth. In the end, choosing peace is choosing alignment. It's deciding that your inner world matters more than external noise. It's trusting that the right people don't need to be chased or convinced. They recognize peace because they've chosen it too. And when peaceful people find each other, the connection is effortless, grounded, and lasting. Peace doesn't isolate you from love. It leads you straight to it.